Hello everybody and welcome to the day 148 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season, where we talk about everything that went down in the world of basketball in the previous day. And as you guys can see, we do have quite a bit to talk about today, so without further delay, let the day 148 recap begin. NBA fan or not, over the past few weeks, you have heard about Lavar Ball, and I'm sure about some of the things that he has said. And you fall into one of three groups when it comes to what you think about Lavar Ball. Group A, you think he's being a good parent by believing in his kids and telling them they can do whatever they want. Group B, you think that he's completely ridiculous and that he puts too much pressure on his kids, using them as advertisement to promote his brand. Or Group C, you honestly just don't care or see what the big deal is. And I think it's safe to say that before yesterday, LeBron James was in Group C. He honestly didn't care about Lavar Ball or anything he was saying until Lavar Ball came out and said this.
You're seeing NBA players whose sons are coming up and looking like they're going to be NBA players.
Well,
what do you think of that?
Here's the thing. There's been a lot of great players, and all their sons are whack. Kobe Bryant, his dad wasn't all that. That's why he's such a monster. So you look at it, you got LeBron. It's going to be very hard for his kids because they're not going to look at him as LeBron's kids. They're going to be like, you better be just like your dad. And then after a while, that pressure starts sitting on you because it's like, wow, why I got to be like him? Why can't it just be me? And then they be like, oh, you're soft. You're not that good, because the expectation is very, very high.
Now, after hearing this, LeBron James has come out and created his own group, Group D. The D stands for Don't Talk About My Family, as that is what LeBron James has told Lavar Ball after Lavar Ball said his kids were basically being set up to fail. I actually like his son. I like his game. He can talk about his brand, talk about his sons, talk about basketball, talk about me, but keep my family out of this. Keep my kid's name out of your mouth. Keep my family out of your mouth. This is dad to dad. It's a problem now. And now, of course, this story has driven the media into a craze. LeBron James calls out Lavar Ball. LeBron James has a problem with Lavar Ball. LeBron James tells Lavar Ball to keep his kids' names out of his mouth. You know, you get the story. The media is having a field day with this one. But back to what Lavar originally said. Considering some of the things that he said so far, this one isn't too far out of the left field in terms of accuracy. Historically speaking, players who've had their dad play in the NBA, if their dad was, you know, actually a really good player, that player didn't turn out to be so well. And if their dad was just, you know, like an average to a less than average player, that player turned out to be something special. You look at Steph and Dell, Kobe and Joe, you know, Delonte and LeBron. Just kidding about the last one. And then you look at the players whose dads were like better in the league. And then you wind up with Bill and Luke, Doc and Austin, Tim Hardaway and Tim Hardaway Jr. You know, you get the picture. But the problem lies within going to the media and in an interview saying that LeBron James's kids are basically going to be whack NBA players because of who their father is. That crosses the line, because now you're putting some negative attention on LeBron James's kids because of their father, LeBron James, which I'm sure no parent wants for their kids. No parent wants an article to be published about their kid saying that their kid is soft and is going to be a failure because of how good their dad is. So LeBron did the right and actually the only thing he could do at that point, because if he didn't tell Lavar Ball basically to watch his mouth, who knows what Lavar would have said next. However, Lavar Ball is still Lavar Ball. The man says some ridiculous things, and I wouldn't be surprised if he uses this opportunity to say something else in the near future. With all the fights happening recently and not a single punch being thrown,
Layout, here we go.
Robin Lopez and Serge Ibaka decided, you know what, let's show the rest of the league how to do it, as they got into a little bit of a fight in the third quarter of last night's Raptors vs Bulls games, and not just one, but two punches were thrown. Not like half punches or half slaps, nothing like that. No, full closed fist punches were thrown. Check it out.
On one of them. Now keep an eye underneath right here now. Now as they go. Lopez, why he swung down at him. Oh, there it is. Both guys. Yeah. Keep an eye. Now watch what happens right here. A little in the back by Ibaka, and Lopez is telling him now. So he takes the ball out of his hand, and that's what starts it. Now you're going to see as they reach, by grabbing Lopez's side of his neck, Lopez lands a punch, but then Ibaka.
Luckily for both of them though, their aims on those punches were just about as good as Andre Drummond's aim from the free throw line. Both of them missed. Lopez grazed the air beside Ibaka's head, while Ibaka's fist went straight through Lopez's afro. And both players, of course, got ejected for throwing punches. Can someone once again tell me how old this man is? There's no way that he can be 40 years old still doing stuff like this. Alright NBA, here's what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to revoke the dunk contest trophy from Glenn Robinson III. Give it to Vince Carter because that was more entertaining than the whole dunk contest this year. And that about wraps up all the news and extras from last night. Now let's jump straight into the games. The Raptors showed some straight up desire to win yesterday against Chicago. They were down 15 headed to the fourth, but then DeMar DeRozan hitting shots, Joseph hitting some shots, and PJ Tucker doing all the dirty work and grabbing rebounds tied the game up for Toronto and sent it into overtime. And then in overtime, the Raptors just continued to fight, and it paid off with a 122-120 win. DeRozan with a monster night last night for Toronto, 42 points, 8 assists and 7 rebounds, but Jimmy Butler didn't do so bad himself for Chicago with 37 points, 10 rebounds and 6 assists, but it just wasn't enough. Maybe not enough time to make a serious push into the 8th seed in the Western Conference, but the important thing is that the Pelicans, meaning Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins, are starting to gel. They entered into this game as winners of 4 of their past 5 and will leave as winners of 5 of their past 6. 41 points, 17 rebounds and 3 blocks for Cousins, while Anthony Davis had 19 points and 13 rebounds. Marc Gasol may have been a defensive player of the year once upon a time, but that's just too much talent in the front court for anyone to handle. Conley had 16 for the Grizzlies and 95-82 was the final score. Omri Caspi makes his debut and Karl Anthony Towns has another one of his Karl Anthony Towns-like games with 25 points and 14 rebounds from Minnesota, but it was against the Spurs and beating San Antonio is no easy task. Spurs take the 100-93 win behind LaMarcus Aldridge and his 26 points and Kawhi Leonard and his 22 points. Other than Cat, Wiggins scored 22 while Caspi had 5 off the bench in his debut. You know it's a blowout when a player invites their kid to come sit with them on the bench like Chris Paul did last night. 133-109 was the final score. It was never close. CP3 had 27 points and 8 rebounds in his 25 minutes, while JJ Redick scored 24 points in his 18 minutes. As the Lakers put up no resistance to the Clippers offense, Ingram had 21, Randall had 19, and Russell had 18 for the Lakers. The Blazers were down 15 in the third quarter to the Bucks last night. They came back and made a game out of it in the fourth, but then their inability to score on Milwaukee within the final 3 minutes of the game ultimately sealed their fate, and the Bucks hang on to get the 93-90 win. Middleton had 26 for Milwaukee, while Antetokounmpo had 22 points and 8 rebounds. The Bucks have now won 9 of their past 11 games, and Damian Lillard scored 31 for Portland. Steph vs. Seth, Warriors vs. Magic. One of the most anticipated games of the season. You know, it was basically Goku versus Vegeta, Naruto versus Sasuke. Let me chill. It was a blowout win for the Warriors, 112-87. Klay Thompson had 23 and Curry had 17 and Ian Clark had 18 off the bench for Golden State, while Dirk Nowitzki had 16 points and 9 rebounds for Dallas. With every game being extremely important for the Pistons if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive, they followed to Brooklyn for the second time this season off a Brook Lopez buzzer beater. 98-96 was the final score. Brook Lopez had 29 points and 7 rebounds for the Nets, while Andre Drummond had 13 points and 17 rebounds for Detroit. Dion Waiters is still out for Miami with an ankle injury, but that's okay because they still get the win pretty easy, 112-97 over Phoenix, as Miami once again have control over the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. Hassan Whiteside continued to be a problem last night with 23 points and 13 rebounds before he had to leave the game after acquiring stitches to his hand. And a really understated part of Miami's success over these past 30 games has been their bench. Miami's bench scored 54 points last night, including Tyler Johnson and his 17. Marquise Chris had 24 points and 7 rebounds for Phoenix. And that about wraps up all the action for the day 148 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. And now it's time to get into the player of the day. Yesterday, you guys selected James Harden and his 39 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks as your player of the day. And here are today's nominees. You have DeMar DeRozan and his 42 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. DeMarcus Cousins and his 41 points, 17 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Brook Lopez and his 29 points, including the game winner, and 7 rebounds. Or Hassan Whiteside and his 23 points, and 13 rebounds. As always, you guys can go vote for the player of the day right now. The link to the poll will be in the description box down below. But other than that, thank you guys once again for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like on it and subscribe if you haven't already for more daily NBA videos. But until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace.